Oops. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another 2K Drones. And I'm sorry about that. I may have clicked on the wrong intro button, outro. So, yep, sorry, apologies for that. Anyway, I am joined, as always, by my brother from another mother, my 1970s cop stunt double friend, Chocovac.
I trusted you to do that right.
Whatever.
I'll forgive you.
Oh, you're so magnanimous.
Hey, everybody. What's going on this fine Saturday? It's 2K drone time.
It is indeed. And as always, we are also joined by none other than Mr. Henry Robotic.
Hello, everyone.
Henry.
You're right, buddy. We've got Drone Viral in the chat. It's not my week this week. Hi, Jesse.
Okay. Hey.
You're a little glitchy. You got some intel in you this week.
Few
bugs.
We are also joined by our friend and good buddy Art from Artco Drone Solutions.
Hey.
Dude, glad you could jump in.
Glad you could join us.
Feeling much better this week.
That's
How
good.
are you doing? Because I
That's good.
saw that you haven't been in the best of health. How's it doing?
A case of bronchitis.
Yuck.
Are you on the mend, sir?
Yes, I am. I think I'm pretty close to 100.
That's amazingly
Probably around
fast.
That's great.
98%.
And it's fast. It used to take weeks to get rid of that crap. I know personally. And I was like Henry's age when I used to get it. So the immune system was kicking ass, and still. Gareth and Lori are in the house.
Yes, my fellow presenter, or the main presenter from the Monkey Nut Punch podcast and Gaming Face Punch podcast, because they have two. Gareth says hi up.
And where's my t-shirt?
Gareth.
I think is his other question.
Yeah, whatever. You've got a t-shirt. The cheeky thing was, right, although you had to buy it, you've got a t-shirt.
I bought my own shirt because that's how I roll.
Right, what are we talking about today? Well,
everybody who promises to give me shirts, yeah, they don't.
Ooh.
Just say
yes. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the dubious Mavic 3 leaks, if you can call them that.
the T-Rex model.
We are talking about something that DJI did this week that took us by surprise somewhat. It's almost like Chuck bought something and went, "God damn you, DJI!" and they did it. We're talking about smart controller compatibility with the
18 hours after I got mine.
Yes. And then I'm sure there's going to be other related stuff coming up. Now, as always, our good buddy Henry here is on the ball and has the one of the two, because if you look at our thing, because basically
This is
yesterday or the day before, several videos from several different channels went Mavic 3 leak and it's gonna have this big sensor and blah blah, and this was the information they were getting it from. Now, with all due respect, right, there's two of these doing the rounds, and well, there's something going on with the propellers on.
How's it gonna land and not land on its props or the camera? I mean, that one's complete rubbish.
I'll tell you why, because this is not a Mavic 3 leak. This is some dude using a CAD program on his computer and going, oh, I'm going to do this and see how many people I can fool, as of all of Mavic 3. And unfortunately, it would seem that several people in the community have bought it, lock, stock, and two smoking barrels. It's
I wanted to.
BS.
Yeah, essentially. In my opinion, this is just it's an incredibly bad job as well. Like it does not have anything that a normal Mavic 3 render should have. It's just there's so many things wrong about it. First of all, it's a render, or a 3D model, which obviously can be faked pretty easily, as can be seen here. Second of all, there's two versions of it, and like you said, that's that's not very good.
It's all good.
For the legitimacy. Like he obviously just flipped the props, or he or she, whoever the originator or the original person who leaked this out was, they just flipped the props, and that was it in the front.
It's like it's flapping when you flip back and forth. Does it have a flapping feature?
Yeah, probably. Also, the camera just looks like terrible. It literally just says, I don't know if you can see 8K and 4K on it. Yeah, it's just blatantly a fake. This is nothing DJI would ever do. This doesn't look like any marketing material. This doesn't look like any blueprint or sketch or any FCC filing, which by the way has not happened. There are no FCC filings, so we can yeah.
This is the thing, right? You keep seeing people going, oh, look at this drawing of the Mavic 3, blah, blah, blah. When has actually an official DJI drawing ever leaked? What you get with DJI links, like with the FPV drone, is where you see a picture of it and it's like a fuzzy picture. Then you'll get a more clear picture as the time goes on, because it's the same with the Air 2S, right? That was pictured like 7 months before it, or 6 months before it came out, and everybody was going, oh, it's the Mavic Air prototype. And of course, because in fairness to them, nobody thought that DJI would release a Mavic Air 2S literally a year after releasing the Mavic Air 2, but they did.
And they did.
DJI leaks tend to work with actual pictures of the product, be it sketchy ones and be it slightly obscure angled ones, but that's how they tend to work. Or DJI, or a picture taken from a sort of testing area, as we saw when they had the original Mavic 2.
There were a couple of goodies in the background too, remember?
There was the DJI RoboMaster. There was a few other products hiding around.
That Art has Art has the RoboMaster.
I remember that image.
Yeah. But this is not how DJI leaks work. And yet people carry on jumping all over these things. And I'm sorry. Look, I get it. You want to believe it. I want to see what a Mavic 3 is as well. I really genuinely do. Whether I buy one or not is another matter, because actually right now I'm really happy with my Air 2S. It's genuinely a great drone, and I can get a hell of a lot out of it, although it takes a goddamn lot longer to color grade.
I hate to say it. I might, depending on what the Mavic 3 is, I might actually grab an Air 2S, because to lighten my packing, don't say it, Keith, but to lighten my packing load, especially since they all work with a smart controller.
I mean, look, we all find various drones. Oh, you've got an original Mavic Air, which is a great little drone.
You got the Air and the Air 2.
Yeah, so you've got the Air 2 is a great drone as well. I mean,
yes, it is. It's a big step up from the Air.
Yeah, and the Air was
much
really cool.
Quieter, better camera. It's got OcuSync too.
Yeah,
and
it's just genuinely it's a damn good drone. The Air 2S just builds on that in the fact that it has that 1-inch sensor. But again, I'm not convinced that everybody needs that 1-inch sensor, because if you own the Air unless you're really doing cinematic stuff or low light stuff, the Air 2 is more than fine. It's a great drone.
That's true.
And I think these Mavic 3 leaks are just, well, they're just, I don't buy them. Sorry, but it's just, I mean, Chuck, are you do you agree, or? Yeah,
I'm getting tired of all these new drones. They're wearing me out. You don't need the 1-inch sensor is great for low light, of course, and photography, of course. But if you're filming video and you're putting on YouTube and you're doing it by day, then the 1/2-inch sensor that's a 1/2-incher on the Air 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's more than adequate. And
it's great. The Air 2 flies beautifully. It's a great drone. I mean, as I said, the only reason that I went for the Air 2S is because I wanted that 1-inch sensor and the full D-Log profile, because I quite enjoy color grading. And
D-Log is nice. Actually, that is true. Yeah.
D-Log and D-Cinelike are not the same thing, and sometimes people compare them and they're not. D-Cinelike, effectively, when you're color grading that, all you really have to do is balance your shadows and your brightness, and then bring up the saturations. With D-Log, it's a bit different, because you can really sort of delve into that color and bring up and get with it. I mean, I spent a week just color grading my last video, and really playing with the sky and playing with the sort of hues and everything else. And what I was able to get out of that, I wouldn't have been able to do with D-Cinelike, because D-Cinelike doesn't record as much information, but D-Log is amazing. But having said that, not everybody needs that. I mean, if you're just into flying drones, the Mavic Air 2 is a great drone. Great drone.
Just heavy. It's 2 pounds.
For the Phantom 5.
Yeah. The elusive Phantom 5.
I just don't see it happening. The market kind of dried up for it. It's kind of got squeezed out by the Mavic series, like the Mavic 2 and whatever the Mavic 3 is going to be, kind of squeeze it out, because then the next, it's kind of like, what's its function in the marketplace for DJI now? They have you get an Aspire 2 if you're going to go pro. You're not going to use a Phantom 5. I just don't know. I don't know if there's, maybe they'll sell it at Walmart like this other thing.
It's well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit as well. But it's I get that everybody wants to see this Mavic 3. Personally, despite what everybody says, I think we'll be lucky if we see it this year. The chip shortage is getting worse. Hell, it's even affecting Apple, because it's becoming more and more apparent that they were trying to launch their new 15-inch MacBook, and I wish they bloody well would, because I need one. And I'm keeping this thing clogging over with steam, but literally. But they've been affected by the chip shortage, and if a company like that, then trust me, DJI are as well. So
I mean, if freaking Apple has been, then I would assume
they have.
I'm sure it's causing problems for DJI.
Kind of like why they didn't come out with the Windows 9. I mean,
whatever happened to Windows 9?
Yeah,
Hans, you got the Windows 9? 9. I don't have the Windows 9.
We have Mike in the house. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, I mean, it's elusive. It's the Mavic 3. The Mavic 3 is I think, and the Phantom 5. I mean, I hear all these people's with opinions on this. Yet the Phantom was still a really good body to hang a really good camera, and that camera on the Phantom 4 2 Pro or Pro 2, whatever it was called. that had a mechanical. That's still a better camera than anything on any other DJI drone.
And that's the thing that they always mention, that the mechanical shutter and the advantages of the mechanical shutter. So, is the Phantom? I'm sorry, is the Mavic 3 gonna have a mechanical shutter?
I don't think so, because
I don't think it exists. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think they're spending money on just making a drone that's just going to kill the sales of their other drones. Like,
but it's not, because there's no Phantom 5.
Well, there is a Mavic 2.
But
and there is an Air 2S.
But neither of those drones had the same capabilities as the Phantom 4. I mean, you look at Ed Ricker, right? He
and that's the way it should be.
And he flew a Mavic, and the Mavic, and then he flew a Mavic 2, but he still, when he was doing a lot of his professional shoots, and he would say this in his YouTube videos, he flew the Phantom because the camera on the Phantom was better. And it is a stable, tested platform. And I do find it interesting why I think they tried to push the Inspire onto the Professional, but the Inspire, again, great drone, but it's huge.
It's huge.
Honestly,
Matrice.
Matrice is even bigger.
Matrice is even more massive. Yep.
Or the unique Typhoon. That's a big drone.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think DJI are having problems at the moment. It's interesting how, of all the companies, and why America did you remove TikTok first? But TikTok's been taken off the block list, but DJI has not. And
the entity list, yes.
Yeah, and
it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one.
I had forgotten about that, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's causing problems. Hence this Mini SE kind of makes sense in the fact that it is a blatant cash grab.
We can show that if you want to right now.
Show the
But there's a Walmart listing for it. It's just a Mini. It's just an original Mini. So
with the newer shaped controller with the Wi-Fi inside of it.
Yeah, this is it. This is it essentially. It's just a Mini. It's an exact copy of the Mini with the orange props and the Mini SE logo. Literally exactly the same thing. 30-minute flight time, 2.7K video on a 30-axis gimbal, 2.5. So blah blah blah.
What about the motors though? Somebody said the motors might be the newer Mavic or the Mini 2 motors.
They could be, but they kind of look the same to me. I don't know why they would do that.
I don't know.
To be honest, it would be cheaper to put the Mini 2 engines into it, because
probably.
You don't want to spin up a factory to manufacture the older ones. You just put these.
The prop screws are silver.
The bit that they're saving money on is taking out the OcuSync, because even now OcuSync 2 radio equipment still costs a fair bit of money. So by putting like a mini Wi-Fi chip in it, rather than it'll be the same board as the Mini 2, except it just won't have the OcuSync chip on it. It'll have a Wi-Fi chip on it.
And Walmart seems to be like the source of all these leaks. You can also see all the resolutions. It's exactly the same as the Mini.
2.7K, right? All that stuff carried over.
2.7K, 4,000 by 3,000, 4,000 by 225.
With Bluetooth, though, it has Bluetooth transfer, I think. Pick that up.
Does yours.
I'll show that in a second.
Yeah, the Mini 2 has that as well. Yeah.
So essentially, it's $299, and this is and this is the back of it. It's just it's
gonna sell like flipping crazy. I've said this before.
It's a cash grab, but it's gonna sell.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm very concerned about our hobby and what this is going to do to it. I understand it's going to bring in a lot of people.
Look at all this stuff.
I still think it's really important that somebody educates these new pilots before they fly these things. I don't know if DJI is going to have it built into the app to force them.
They better
to take that test again.
They had better.
or the
They
They
FA.
don't
better.
have to.
And
They're under no obligation to in most countries. I mean, interestingly,
yeah,
Just do
interestingly,
the right thing.
I
They have to-
discovered
they have to
that
do the right thing.
Mini 2 has to be registered here. That you still have to register the drone because they have a rule here that anything with a camera on it, doesn't matter how big
Yeah.
it is, you have to register it. The sub 250 gram thing only kicks in if it doesn't have a freaking camera.
It's not. It's going to be under a lot of Christmas trees, then in a lot of trees after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And maybe a few lakes too.
And maybe a few lakes. Maybe get some good underwater footage. Yeah.
Maybe a few telephone pole cables.
All that stuff. These people are gonna get out there and think they can do like their Mavic.
Maverick?
I am Maverick.
I am Maverick.
Next thing you know.
Come on, you were there, Art.
Yeah.
Guy, that poor guy, he's never gonna live that down. He's never gonna live that down.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great that it's going to bring a lot of people into the hobby. People that the price point is ridiculously low for a DJI product, and we know.
Like 299.
Oh man,
blows everything out the water.
Yeah, and anybody who owns a mini is going to be like, "Really, you did that to me? Now how am I going to sell this thing ever?" And you're just not gonna. It's just a great.
It's just a mini. That's $399.
Yeah, but the mini, like you guys know I want to go to the UK in the fall, and the Mini 2 is like the only thing I can fly without fear over there, like up close to stuff. So I grabbed one.
Look, as long as you stay within the rules, you're going to be fine. It isn't as bad as it's made to be. And bearing in mind that you're going to, where you're really going to want the Pro 2, you're going to be up in the Scottish Highlands where there are no sheep fields because it's right up and remote. And it's going to be awesome. You just got to be careful around when you're around huge touristy spots. Fly the Mini 2 around Loch Ness if you can, but you know
that and cat. Well, I see Nessie. That'd be cool to have Nessie footage. It'd be really cool to have. I need a redundant mini. So like I might have to get a Mini SE just to fly it into Nessie's mouth and just have the footage on the cache.
Yes.
You know,
no, trust me. If you got that footage,
it'd be viral.
Fly your Pro 2 into its mouth, because believe me, you're going to be, if you genuinely got that footage, you'd be able to buy 1 million Pro 2s.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
But that would indicate
you were talking about James' wife.
What?
Uh-oh. Yeah, be sure to hit that like button if you didn't already. Thanks, Art.
Hello, AZ Dronz. Nice to see you in the chat, buddy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so yeah, I think Chuck and it started raining here. What was luck? It's been beautifully sunny all day, and now it's hammering it down. Anyway,
move on.
I think the SE, it worries me. I am very tempted to get a Mini 2. I'm just trying to see whether I actually need one. But having said that, because I've got the I've got the Mavic Air in there, and I bang on about how it's a great drone, but I've also got an Air 2S in there, and that's the one I'm going to fly, purely because it's got that better camera on it. So I am tempted to just get a Mini on the rare occasion that I need an even smaller drone. Hi, Chris. And by the way, thanks for your comment on my video, buddy.
Chris is a good
but yes, anyway, let's move on, because talking about mini drones, I told Chuck to buy a lottery ticket, by the way, on the same day, because
Chuck, I got it. Yeah.
This has been the conversation that Chuck and I have been having over the last couple of weeks. I think I'm going to buy a Mini 2. I'm worried that husband drone's not going to be as good as they're saying. I think I'm going to get a Mini 2. This went on for about a week, but it doesn't have any smart controller support, and it doesn't have decent. And it's carried on for another week, and he's like, dude, I've ordered a Mini 2, even though it hasn't got smart control thing, but I wish it would have smart control. And this carried on until the drone, and then he didn't unwrap the drone because he's like, I'm not sure because it doesn't have smart. And literally on the Wednesday, the heavens parted, the seas
6
parted.
o'clock in the morning. There's a
Moses
notification.
appeared.
I'm like,
And
what?
there was this
And then there's this shining light.
I'm like,
And
yes!
Chuck opened up the PDF, and there was this bright light going, and there was this voice. Chuck, your prayers have been answered.
They were
And the light
clouds
was
parted
good.
and
And
yeah,
out of nowhere,
out of nowhere. And they were saying no. I'm thinking no. And we were talking about this because I was telling Keith, I was like, okay, DJI doesn't want any risk of losing market share with the sub 250 gram market. And they're going to put the smart controller capability on because they already have it written. They just haven't done it. They're going to do it now to squish Hubson before they even get a chance. And it's going to happen. And then they're going to come out with the Mini 3 in the fall as scheduled in November. And I don't know if it'll be OC3 or OC2 like this one. I don't know. But it'll have D-Cinelike on it. I can assure you of that. That's my guess anyway. But anyway, yeah, it's their playbook, man. It's the DJI playbook. There's a threat. Thank you. By the way, thank you, Hubson, very much. Thank you, because I'm quite sure you're responsible for this release of firmware to make this all possible for me.
I think we have to keep an eye on the Hubson because although
competition is good, competition is good,
but DJI doesn't like competitors, and they will squish them every chance they get.
Yes, but I don't think they will. Because there's always going to be people out there that are anti-DJI purely because of how popular they are. The husband thing is interesting. Look, you've got a drone, regardless of whether that drone crashed, right? Regardless, and I think that was pilot error rather than a problem with the device. I think one of the presenters cocked up, right? But here's the thing. You cannot deny the fact that that thing sat there and hovered for 38 minutes. 38 minutes.
Yeah.
DJI's backside.
With a big sensor too.
Yeah. So look,
and avoidance sensors.
I mean, is it going to be as smooth as the DJI drone? Probably not.
No, probably not.
But if husbands sell enough of these drones, that means they'll be able to invest into engineers and time and perfect it. And here's the thing: they've got superior battery tech in there. That there is no denying that. That there is some technology there that is ahead of DJI. Hubson,
superior.
Hubson.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've tried telling my wife
Hubson.
It's because I try to tell my wife that husbands are superior, but she won't have any of it. But that's another matter.
Don't go there.
For the Stay Free mini pad.
The Stay Free mini pad. Nice. Nice.
It's got wings.
That's
how do you say Hubson, not husband, Hubson. Sorry, well, it's a husband.
Husband.
So back to the marriage, the new marriage. What?
What?
I didn't catch that.
Me either, Art. Sorry, I talked over you.
The Hudson.
The Hudson.
The Hudson. Yeah, I'll be close to the Hudson in another couple of weeks. Back to the Mini 2 and the Smart Controller Edition this past week.
So, what does it fly like? Because I have a theory. I having flown the Mavic Air 2 with the Smart Controller, I have a theory.
We've discussed your theory, actually, and it has some teeth because the first time I took the Mini 2 up, I didn't use the stock controller at all. I went, of course, right to the Smart Controller because, anyway, it was a little bit glitchy. Like there are little pregnant pauses in the feed, the video feed, and this is the same thing I think that many had complained about. What is up with my focus?
You're a little fuzzy, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm always a little fuzzy.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm always a little fuzzy.
Like that DJI new drone that.
Yeah. So anyway, so I did the trick that I think Ash at Droning On pointed out first was to factory data reset the Smart Controller. So I did that and then left it pretty stripped down without additional side loaded apps and tried it again, and it was a little better, but it's still not perfect. But it's not annoyingly bad either, Keith. It's kind of like your feed is kind of like it's for low speed cinematic. It's tolerable, and the benefits far outweigh the negativity of the not perfect feed.
I think it's to give some people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. It will annoy some people more than others.
But it's the Fly app.
I think it's a slightly subjective thing, but I have come to the conclusion that it's DJI Fly on the smart controller.
It is. The Fly app is too taxing on the smart controller's hardware.
I have similar issues with the Air 2 and the Air 2S. Now, again, I did Ash's trick, and for the first 2 days, no glitches at all. But it's not as smooth. It's almost like it's running at a lower frame rate than
probably.
Kind of, but
well,
still,
honestly, I think
so convenient.
I mean, I think personally they just need to refresh the controller with a more powerful processor.
I wish they would, because I mean, this is the thing, and again, this could be down. People. This could be there might be one in the works, and they might be having the same problem as Autel
has. It's designed. I'm sure it's designed. It's just they can't.
It's a choice that they choose not to do it.
Well, no,
or they can't get chips. Again, they might probably get chips for it either. There are a lot of factors here.
Yes, exactly. Again, give them the slight benefit of the doubt, because you have to look at what's happened with Autel, and they've come out and said, look, we can't produce the original version of this smart controller because we can't get the chips for them. So we're going to have to put new chips into both our Evo 2s and the smart controllers so that they can get them. So
what a hot mess that is, by the way.
But it's not their fault. It is this chip shortage, and working for a company that involves around chips and stuff. I can tell you it is a problem at the moment, and we don't know when it's going to get any better. In actual fact, signs are pointing it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh yeah,
there's a Crystal Sky as an interesting segue or side topic. Nah, I wouldn't touch it. Nope, wouldn't do it. Just saying.
Billy Carl did a video on a tablet that had 1,000 nits.
Yeah, that's more the right path to go.
And
I think I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that. I think that's
like a mini tablet with the M processor.
Personally, I just use my phone. Hey, look who it is.
Hey, John.
John, how you doing, brother?
Personally, I just use my phone. It's more than enough. I have no idea what nits it is, but in this time, it's just fine.
Well, then you've got a good phone, but here, phone is no worky.
It'll overheat, I'm sure.
It overheats, and the brightness of the screen goes dim when it overheats.
Even up in the hills where I was a couple of weeks ago. Incidentally, I've got a video out on my channel.
Let's talk about that first.
That was slightly cooler. Yeah. That was slightly cooler up there, and even then, the phone. I did try the phone with the default stock controller, and I liked the stock controller, but the phone lasted 10 minutes, and then it didn't scream. I was just like, "Give me my smart controller." Was it smoother? Yes, it was smoother on the phone for that 10 minutes that I could see it. I mean, if DJI announced a smart controller 2 tomorrow, I have my money, because I love the smart controller. It is an amazing device. I'm kind of used to now, having flown the Mavic Air 2 and the Air 2S through it. I'm used to the issues. I think this is possibly something new for Chuck here, because you've not had a drone until now that uses Fly. I'm not the biggest DJI Fly fan. I still prefer Go 4.
Neither am I.
Maybe it's my age, but I just don't think it's See, this is the other thing about the Mavic 3. I don't think that app is pro grade or pro consumer grade. It's not.
It's
at all. No way. Ever.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. There are some things I actually like about Fly when I'm setting it up.
But at
I
the same
kind of like
time,
the camera, like the gimbal and the yaw settings are really easy to get to, and they're split up between normal and sport mode and the cinematic mode. That's pretty cool.
Try going into pro mode.
True.
Try going into pro mode.
I'm in pro mode right now. I just touched the screen lower right corner.
It's fiddly.
It's only fiddly because my eyes suck. So like when
it's
auto and pro look almost the same.
Because I have my decent, even with my glasses on, and I'm clicking straight. It's not your fingers or your eyes. It's shit.
Okay, well, I managed to get it to work though. It's on pro, and I just don't touch that corner of the screen anymore.
But it doesn't feel as smooth as easy to get into those settings as it used to get into on Go 4. And there are some things that are easier to get to, but the pro settings, when you need to faff around with your exposure and things like that, you're going like this thing. So
is it because is it the hardware issue of the smart controller? Does this app work just fine on your phone?
It's the same problem with the menu thing on the Osmo Pocket, which is a bit clunky when you're trying to get into that pro menu. Yeah, it's fiddly. They've made it a bit more fiddly in ways of making it easier, but I don't think it's that easy. I know that people are going to like it, but I think, look, this is my experience of it on the smart controller. In fairness, I haven't used it a lot on the phone, but on the smart controller, Fly is clunky.
Yeah, the smart controller's hardware is old.
But I am also really glad that they.
Sorry, but the Fly app was not intended to be used on a 32.
No,
it's for 32-bit. It's for 32-bit, and the smart controller isn't.
Yeah.
It took him 6 months to get it onto the smart controller. Look, I'm glad that they've done it with the Mini 2. They needed to do it, and you're right. I think it is a response to the husband and everything else.
I'm very confident that that's why it rolled, and it's just my lucky timing that it did it when it did it. And
I think maybe
you got lucky, Chuck.
It happens. Sometimes better be lucky than good. It happened.
But with the stuff in the UK where people DJI might be seeing that, look, they're making it more difficult to fly our bigger drones in certain areas. So pro consumers like Chuck and I who fly drones a lot, and you guys as well. All of us fly drones. It's going to be places where we can't fly drones, and we're going to want to whip out our Mini 2s and fly them because we can.
our Mini.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I was gonna say it, but I decided not to.
The Mini.
I'm not touching it. I'm leaving it. This guy down here in trouble. Okay,
he got
troublemaker.
He got it.
This is payback for me being on his show and being a troublemaker. This is a little payback.
We're going to fly our Mini 2s, and we want to do it with the smart controllers. So I don't know why it's taken them so damn long.
They were waiting for me to buy one. That's all.
It's great.
Like, did Chuck buy it? Did he get it yet? We're watching.
It's Chuck approved.
It's Chuck approved.
Yeah, Chuck approved.
It is indeed, by the way. I mean, I'm
Chuck,
sure the Hubson's going to be nice. But...
How does it deal with penetration?
I have not had any issues with poor penetration yet. Or with the drone.
You're both on FCC country, so that thing will fly for miles. It's where you fly it.
That's what she said.
It's where you fly it in an EC country that becomes a problem. Although, look, I flew the hell out of my Air 2S, 250 gigs worth of stuff, and that's not including the FPV bits. That's one thing we didn't mention. DJI brace yourselves. DJI have released an FPV upgrade.
Hey.
Now, did you run it yet? I have not installed it yet. For the goggles.
Yeah,
right?
I've looked at the release, right? They have fixed absolutely nothing of what I talked about in my review.
Damn, that sucks.
And they haven't really added anything that makes me think, okay, I immediately want to upgrade. If they put the LUTs in to the goggles, boom, I would have upgraded. But they haven't. So depending on who you believe and whose video, because Dobo released one video and another guy released another, and they both
Potato
sort of
Jet and
says
guys,
it flies
yeah.
better, one says it doesn't. But it's purely in manual. They haven't changed the sports mode, flight modes, or anything like that. So apparently, it still dips in certain things. But it's taken this long to release it, and really, it was a very underwhelming release. I haven't done it. Yeah, it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, I love flying this drone. I mean, saw in my video, I was messing around with it. When I wasn't making and filming or anything, I was like, well, I'm getting the FPV out and I'm flying through, tight gaps and stuff, and I'm loving it. But I'm sorry if you can hear the rain. It's really, really raining now.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
It's a good mic then. It's noise cancelling, but I can hear it through the noise cancelling headphones. So it's I don't know. I don't know if it's worth me doing this firmware upgrade at the moment, because I then have to hack it again.
Well, there's a drawback for Americans, unlike you, Keith. You're the exception.
What's the drawback?
There are no Imperial units in the update.
Have they removed Imperial units?
They were. It's a
no way.
I think it's a no. I think it was a.
No way.
Mistake. No, it's a mistake. I heard that there are no Imperial units, so I haven't even tried to run it because. I'll just sit
I mean, in fairness,
they're making more problems than they're solving. They're making more problems than they're solving. This is bad.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
When I looked at the spec of it, it was highly underwhelming. There wasn't anything really I went, I could really do with that. I mean, it didn't make me go, yay! It was like, okay, I'm not going to bother at this point in time.
John's wondering the same thing.
It's just, look, the issues I had and I brought up in the review doesn't stop me enjoying just chilling out and flying it. I love flying it. I know, because Mr. John is in the house. I know it's not the real thing. I know it's not a really good FPV drone, but it puts a smile on my face. So for that, it's worth the money. And I had a lot of fun with it when I was away.
I like the bits in your if you check out Keith's video, there's a linky in the chat. It's kind of cool, especially that little bit you used was fun. I like it. You had me impressed when you did a couple.
Flew through the heart. I'll let you into a little secret. So I saw that heart when we arrived at the room, and the first thing
I think is I'm going through it.
I've got fly drones for it. And the first drone that I flew through it was not the FPV. It was the Air 2S. And I was impressed because I lined that up from quite a way away and I just went forward like that. And I thought at one point, oh, God, my Air 2S is going in the water. But I made it through. And I got a great shot, which I actually didn't use in the vlog in the end because I couldn't find a place for it that it worked. The shot that I used with the FPV drone, several times I'd lined up and I was lined up way before I came at it. But if you watch that shot, I wasn't lined up at first, and I lined it up right at the last minute. And I dropped the drone down, and I thought, and I was like, because I didn't know.
Did you with the goggles on? Did you duck like it was gonna make it better?
I wish it recorded sound because you would have heard me gone. Oh, thank God for that. And my wife was like, what? So I made it through the heart. She's going,
dude, you went so fast. You went so fast that it was like
it was
blurry when you went through. It was like because you had the motion blur. It's almost like
it literally looked blurry when I saw that shot. You going through everything. You were going so incredibly fast. You couldn't even see any detail because of the motion blur.
I know that's what I told Keith. That kind of disappointed me a little bit. Like if it just a little.
I was the point. It was the speed.
It still looked sick.
Still
looked sick.
It was.
I think it still looks sick.
I was bowing to your greatness as I watched that clip.
I couldn't include the full shot of the going
gazebo
through the
one
gazebo.
too. Yeah,
So
good
the
too.
shot is that I come past the gazebo that way, right? Fly through these trees, come around, and somehow, because it was all one shot, somehow it was lined up, and I thought, screw it, I'm going for it. And,
Well, you did.
And I went for it.
And you did, yeah.
You did.
And it was all one shot. But again, I didn't want to put all of
Penetrated the
that
gazebo
in.
art.
Penetrated there's penetration
said.
for you. I went straight through the
Gazebo.
Honestly, some of the shots you've gotten, especially like I remember that one shot on the rocks you did in one of your earlier videos.
Yes,
They literally look like ads, like something you would see on TV for like, I don't know. It just looks like a professional video to me. It looks sick. It looks great, honestly.
The cinematography.
You did a very good job.
I love flying it. I love flying it. I think it's there is motion blur in there. The motion blur's there because it had NDs on. You wouldn't have got the motion blur if I didn't have the NDs on.
Yeah,
Still,
I
think that makes it look. Yeah,
I had the NDs on because the ND does make the sky look better, and it does bring out.
It does. Yeah,
the colors more,
and you get the flares from the sun and stuff look better with the filters on too.
Whoop.
It's but that place was awesome. The great thing was we were the only people there. Although the first night we weren't, and we were told we were the only people there. And then I was flying this drone through the damn garden, right? And then I suddenly saw somebody walking down from their room. Like, so then I moved away from flying through the hotel because it was like, and I went over and apologized, and it turned out the guy was British, and we got chatting. But the next day they had gone, so I was able to just fly through there. And the only time that I really took the drone to any height was when the horses
Cheerio.
But the horses weren't bothered by it. Horses didn't even bat an eyelid.
Are you from Surrey?
There was 60 odd wild horses there. 60 odd of them of these, or semi-wild. They have a herder, but they just left to roam out over the huge. All of that land that you saw, all the resorts land, all that land in the FPV, it's all belongs to the resort. It was quite a cool place. We're going back there in a couple of weeks because we're going to try and do a night safari to actually intentionally go and try and see elephants. Which could be intentionally. Well, the one thing I didn't mention on that video is the bit where I was in the national park and down by the water filming. I was on my own, and my wife and the guard were way back. And he found, during me walking back, he found fresh elephant dung, and he was genuinely concerned that the elephant had heard us. Turned around to come back again, and it turned out the elephant had literally passed through no more than 10 minutes before we got there. And he was reasonably concerned that it might turn around and come back again. And elephant attacks here are quite common, and it is a problem. So it was it could
really ruin your day.
Could have been an interesting ending.
That would ruin your day. That would be an interesting video, though.
You better be filming high frame rate for that. You can slow the squish down. yes.
I
want to see an angry elephant like roll your truck.
Everybody's commenting on the Batman mask. I forgot.
Yeah, it's great.
Because I was going, what Batman? Chucking, you're wearing a Batman. Oh, yeah. Got my thing.
Yeah, you were.
I'm waiting for the Siamese elephant. They're joined at the trunk.
Oh, man.
And every time they go,
that was a dad joke.
It's a dad joke.
It was amazing in there. Unfortunately, couldn't fly the drone. Where they are very, very strict about flying drones there because they make you. The other thing is they checked with Lemon that she wasn't wearing any perfume. because those wild bison don't like perfume, and they can smell it from yep, genuinely. They said that to them that she couldn't be wearing any perfume when we went in there. We had to be very careful, and yeah, it was really. I mean, you see it in the video, but I couldn't film everything that we saw, and it was incredible. It was just. I wish I could have flown a drone in there, but I completely understand why I couldn't. And I knew, I cut it out because it didn't work. But I was like, Chuck, don't yell at me. I can't fly the drone here.
I understand.
Here in Colorado, we got people that look at the elk. Let's get a selfie by the elk.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they get gored by the big elk. Or they go up to Yellowstone and, hey, look at the big fuzzy cows. Let's get a selfie with the buffalo.
Well, you saw how much they weighed, those bison. They were 1,300 kilograms on average. He's like, you don't. And I mean, again, when I was that last shot when they were by the road, he made us move. He drove the car off after a while because they noticed us there, and they had a couple of young, and they were edging forward, and he was okay. It's time to go. And you wouldn't want to meet one of those without the car. They are big boys.
They look pretty big.
Like 10 of me.
She said.
It wasn't
commented on that.
It's like, wow. They were interesting, but yeah, that's a problem here though, with the elephants as well. But part of the problem here is not so much tourists going, it's people encroaching on their territories, and it is a big problem here. But they are in a protected area, and you can't just venture in there. And that guy in the Mercedes-Benz, I mean, again, what we didn't feature on the video was the guy, our guide. He was really, really angry, and because he says, look, if that guy got taken out by an elephant, and I mean, he might be in a $3.5 million Mercedes Benz, but the elephant's gonna take, break that and push that,
crush it like a can, crunch it like a can, a tin can, yeah.
Well, anyway.
And he says it's my job on the line. We don't know how he got in. He goes, I didn't drive my Mercedes Benz up a mud track. But
can you ever film there? Could you use like a selfie stick with like your Osmo Pocket on the end of it and get some?
Are we allowed to film in there? But we can't. Yes, but we just couldn't go in without the guard. There's big signs saying you shouldn't go in there.
There are a couple of tricky things where guys have used a really extended selfie stick to simulate a drone type shot.
If we go back in the evening. Or early evening, we'll do that because we went back afterwards. Again, couldn't show it on film, but Lem's got some pictures of it. We drove back because he wouldn't accept a tip. We had to put the money in the pot. So we were right, screw it, we'll buy him dinner. So we went where we ate at the restaurant. We bought a load of extra food and brought it back to him. By the time we got back, it was pitch black. And as we drove into the car park area, 6 wild deer were just there, and they just looked at us, and we were like literally right up close to them, and that again was incredible. And then he came over, realized it was us, and we gave him the food, and then he introduced us to all the other guys that work there. And of course, it's the usual thing of when you live in Thailand, the first questions they ask is, what football team do you support? And one of them was wearing a Man United shirt, and I was like, well, my great granddad used to play for them. So it was like Man U and Arsenal, and then there was all that kind of stuff that you get. But again, great bunch of guys and amazing. I mean, I was blown away by it. It was.
I bet you had fun. So now this is old news. On to the next one, man.
Yes.
Next project.
Yes.
I know we're going to work on a project. Lori and I are working on one tomorrow. We're going to go back up and get out there and play around. Since we have all this new gear to mess with, we have the Mini 2 to play with, the wireless Go 2s to play with.
I'll be interested to know how you get on with those because you're taking the lead on those and feeding back your info to me on those.
I already had one mistake where we were filming. Well, we were working on a project. It was just a dress rehearsal that went really bad because it didn't record any audio. Yeah, it's good to work these bugs out early on before the big trips happen because then you'd be really disappointed. So I'm
planning. Because Art here has you've got your GoPro there, and I've got a GoPro Hero 7, and I've got a couple of ideas coming up because, believe it or not, I've got back into cycling again. My wife very kindly let me buy a bike, and there is a 23-kilometer bike track around the airport here, and it's a professional grade thing, and I want to use the GoPro to make a video about it. But it's getting the audio onto a GoPro, which is not such an easy thing because the audio on the Hero 7, it's okay, but I'm a snob and it's not passable for me. We are losing people left, right, and center here. Now we've lost Chuck. Now we were losing Henry. I don't know what's going. Chuck, come back.
Sorry, my phone was overheating.
I tried to bring you back. I screwed up.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, my phone was just overheating, so. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting hot here in California.
Hi Bill, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
Bill.
But I mean, yeah, the GoPro's getting the audio because the GoPro audio adapter is like $50. But you've got one on yours there, Art, that costs you like what, $8?
Well,
$8.
Yeah, the adapter that goes to USB 3 or C. Yeah. That was like $8.
Yeah, thanks for saying hi to my wife, Henry. And Chuck. Cheers. I forgot to say that. Hi, darling.
This is important. Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. Yes, Henry. Remember this happy wife, happy life.
I have some friends who would just simply say, don't ever get married. But
no, it'd be life would be boring. But
far less expensive, maybe too.
True. But the microphone,
depending on your circumstances. Okay, let's stop. Let's get off that. That's not a good topic.
The microphone that you've got on your GoPro there is the same one that I used to record all of that last video. It's the Rode Video Micro. Brilliant little. If you are starting out vlogging, it's a relatively inexpensive because everybody go buy the Video Micro Pro. No, that Video Micro Go is
Pro.
There's a Rode Video Pro, but the one that Art's got is called the Video Micro. It's like $40. It's a passive microphone, but it's epic for a $40 or $50 microphone. It's really good. It's genuinely really, really good. So it's well worth it.
Well, this is what I used on the Osmo Pocket on that video, and it turned out pretty good.
You might need to adjust the levels a little bit with it, though, Art.
I think it's the adapter on the thing. Yeah, you have to.
You can mess with them a little bit.
But I've got that. I mount that microphone on everything. But because my wife is taking a more active role now in the things, I've had to go the same as Chuck here, and I've bought the Wireless Go 2 as Chuck and Laurie.
Well, they have to be marked. It's like, this is a professional operation in the making.
What's the name of the writer behind The Big Bang Theory? Isn't that Chuck Lorre?
Chuck Lorre.
Yeah, Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm just funny. Why does Chuck and Lorre ring a bell? Why does it keep?
Yeah.
It's the guy behind the Big Bang and the Kaminsky method, which is on Netflix and is brilliant. Sorry, I'm getting onto my other podcast. Yeah. The Kaminsky method's really good.
Because we're going to be superstars.
But yes, even more so. But I've gone over to the white.
People can beat me, bash me, and slam me and abuse me, and I'm just going to keep getting back up and climbing this stupid mountain.
I mean, your wireless Go 2 though. I'm going to be interested to see how you get on with that because I've got mine, but I haven't even tried it yet, and I've got to.
You definitely want to. Yeah, you want to play around with it because, like I told you last weekend when we were recording, the two microphones record independently, which is very cool. They'll locally record audio, but if you have that set up wrong, you won't get any audio. And so there was a lot of that last weekend. So I see where I went wrong. What
camera were you using? Were you using your Pocket or?
I was using the Pocket with the wide angle lens. I was going to use the Sony, and then I really wished I had used the A6600 and put the receiver on that, plugged it in. But use the tripod.
I'll try it because I might even use one of them with the GoPro there when I'm on the bike, because I'm going to do some footage on the bike, but I'm going to sort of show this place because it's interesting. It's not just a bike track. The tech, it's got interesting tech there. That's part of the reason why I'm thinking about doing it. It's a very untied, which is it's kind of really futuristic and forward thinking. And if you know anything about Thailand, you're like, really? bearing in mind, right, the first time I came to this country, and this is no word of a lie, this was the old Bangkok airport, right? And this is going back to the year, this was 2 weeks after the tsunami. And I had no idea about where I was going. My friend said, you've got to come to Thailand, we'll have a great holiday. And I was like, all right, yeah, let's go to Thailand. And I don't know what I was expecting. But what I was not expecting was to look out my window, having landed in a 747, to see a guy in a golf cart driving alongside me.
I remember your vlog on that. I remember your vlog on that where you filmed. And that was like, wasn't that the vlog with the worst landing in your life where you thought the wheels were going to drop off? Like, is that the one?
Yes, because it's now the domestic airport. It's not the international airport anymore. It's a domestic airport. But there is a golf course in between the two runways.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And but the landing, the terrifying landing.
That landing. I mean, the camera doesn't really do it any justice, but the plane just came down, bang.
You said something like it's way worse than it looked. It felt way worse than it looked on camera.
And I've been in some I've landed in a Vickers Viscount at Ronaldsway Airport in the middle of mist in the Isle of Man. And if you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand that this was a way worse landing than that. And a Vickers Viscount was an analog.
I consider all the landings that Lori and I have had on Maui have always been sketchy at best.
It was always pretty.
You always think the wingtips are going to touch the tarmac. It's like the plane's coming in. Well, like with all the trade winds and stuff, it's all
It was a bit like that when landing
McCarran at Las Vegas. Yeah, McCarran in Las Vegas is like that too. The thermals and stuff. It gets pretty wild.
It was an interesting thing, but yes, Bangkok Airport, middle thing. But this new thing is interesting. So I'm going to be playing with the GoPro because I don't have an Osmo Action. I kind of had the GoPro and couldn't really justify at the time buying an Action because I had the GoPro. I am waiting for an Osmo Action 2, DJI. Hurry up. Because I don't particularly want to buy another GoPro. Sorry, GoPro, but
well, Keith, I was kind of
I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. As a person who has the newest one, don't buy one.
Keith, buy the Action so that the 2 will come out like within a month, please.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I know. Just seriously, sit tight. It's coming. You know it is.
I suspect it is. So yeah, I mean, I will make do with my Hero 7 because when it works well. It's possible. I found a relatively inexpensive mount. I'm just going to mount it on front of the bike, and away we go. But anyway, guys, I think we've been going for an hour. We've discussed our main subjects. We will hopefully. We discussed 2 weeks ago about sort of doing a series in our streams where we're talking about making films and doing filmmaking with our various equipment. Chuck and I and Henry here, we're hopefully going to launch that, but we want to launch it with some special guests and stuff, and we're still working on that. So That is coming.
Yeah. So
but again,
smack that subscribe button if you didn't already.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
again,
let's get it up over 100.
And
Yes.
the notification
Thanks.
bell.
Yeah,
Put that
thank
on
you.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Art.
Yep.
Because this isn't
Click in
every
the
wiki thing. It's like every other
Lower
wiki
right
thing.
hand corner.
so
Yeah.
thanks to everybody
At
in
lower
the
right corner.
again, thanks to everybody in the live chat. Thanks to everybody who participated. Thank you to both Art and Henry for turning up. Thank you
thanks
to
for
my
having
buddy Chuck here for being my brother from another mother, fellow DJ. Watch a movie called Kevin and Perry, you'll get that. But I think unless any of you guys have anything else to say, I will let you plug your various endeavors, and I will let you go first, Art, as you are our extreme guest. So, Art, plug yourself, sir.
Yes, I will be doing a live stream at this channel right up here, and Chuck will be one of the panelists, and later on from the Philippines we'll have James from My PI Dream. He usually shows up after he has his waffles. So today, I'll be talking about, adapters and stuff for the GoPro and other great things about drones and stuff. And that will be at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and 7 a.m. in the Philippines on Sunday. So be there.
Yes, I will catch the replay. It's a bit early for me.
Be there. Or be square.
Be there, be square.
And our fellow newsman that always has us covered, Mr. Henry Robotic.
Hello, my name is Henry Robotic. I do a lot of on my channel. I do a lot of drone leaks, camera leaks, basically anything to do with DJI or GoPro. I like to do reviews when I'm able to get my hands on products. And yeah, go check me out. My channel is called Henry Robotic. I can search that into YouTube, or I believe in the chat earlier was posted a link to my channel. So yeah, thank you.
Anyway, that's it. But go on, Chuck. I'm joking.
I'm Chuck, and I'm Covaction Droneography, and my wife and I've done how-tos, drone videos, but now my wife and I are doing vlogs together. So check out our travel vlogs. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. The linky is in the chat. It's also all of our links to our channels are in the description below. So be sure to check the other guys out, and everybody in the chat. John and Bill and Chris and Jesse and on and on and on. Thanks for the support, guys. We do appreciate it.
We do indeed. Thank you for turning up and just commenting. Thank you, Mr. Koopy. You are the man. And thank you, Bill. Thank you, everyone, for turning up. So yes, and just to finish, my name's Keith. I'm from the K-Spot. I've just put a new travel vlog out where I play around with my new equipment. And we went to Wan Nam Kiao. Thank you, ma'am. Which is Thailand's kind of Switzerland. And it was a really, really good time. And hopefully that comes through in the vlog. So if you have time, please check that out as well. Anyway, guys, thank you once again for watching. Thanks to Art and Henry for joining us. And thank you again to everyone in the chat. Everyone, say goodbye.
Peace out.
Bye.
Promise, I will click the right one this time.
All right.
Bye,
Bye, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.
Take 2.